Hey everybody, Mike Naso here with IPR365.com and podweather.com with an update on Hurricane Gustav. You can see Hurricane Gustav has made landfall on the south coast of Haiti there. Right around this area here, it's moving towards the coastline again. It's going to come back out over water, and as a ridge of high pressure builds back in, it's going to have flow to the north of it, pushing it generally west over the very warm waters of the northwest Caribbean in the general direction of western Cuba, the Isle of Youth. In the meantime, Jamaica, the Caymans, and potentially the Yucatan could be impacted from there somewhere in the Gulf of Mexico. Let's take a look at Hurricane Gustav as of 5 p.m. Eastern Time. It was at 18.4 north, 73.2 west. Winds were down to 75 miles an hour, had been up 90, still gusting up to 90. It's moving northwest at 10. The pressure's risen 11 millibars. It had been down towards, say, 981 millibars when it made landfall. It's now down to now up to 992 rather. However, it's expected to maintain itself as a minimal hurricane, maybe weaken to a strong tropical storm again, and then strengthen back as it comes back out into a hurricane of Category 2, then 3 intensity at least, and by Thursday be paralleling the southeast coast of Cuba, and then by Friday and Saturday come out of the northwest Caribbean into the Gulf, and by Sunday afternoon be a very dangerous hurricane, centered at this point it looks like somewhere right around the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. But keep in mind, if it moves to the north of this track, it's over land, much weaker, maybe impacts the Keys, kind of pulls a fay and heads up in this region where the waters are very upwelled in this area. If it takes the leftward track, it could really impact Jamaica and the Caymans, then the Yucatan, and then more towards Texas, Mexico area. Right now it appears generally the north-central Gulf Coast, especially the coast of Louisiana and Mississippi, is at most risk, but again, that could change. There is a lot of uncertainty at this point. Bottom line is, Gustav already was a potent hurricane this morning. To think that it won't come back into even a more powerful hurricane is unlikely. You can see the wind field with this system. The hurricane winds are right there over Haiti. They're coming on out, the tropical storm force there. We do have hurricane warnings, of course, for Haiti, the southeast coast of Cuba, hurricane watch for areas of Jamaica. That's likely to be changed to a warning as Hurricane Gustav will come back out. And the Caymans, you could be really, really severely impacted by this by the time it's cranking into a major hurricane. You have to be ready for a significant impact. Now, the visible satellite loop throughout the day has shown that when the sun came up, Gustav started to strengthen, had a pinhole eye, and it moved over land, and now it's over there, and it has been inhibited. It's a very tiny hurricane, but it is moving back out, and we're going to have to deal with that over the next several hours. You can see there. On the infrared, you can see the last 24 hours. Clearly, it intensified as it was coming ashore, but now it is much more ragged. But again, it's starting to get that shape that it's going to bend back west. Whether or not that impacts Cuba temporarily or if it just stays over water, it's too early to tell, but it is a potent danger. There's the radar. You can see as it came inland, the eye looked very, very impressive. You can see it had a well-defined inner core eye wall, very powerful 90-mile-an-hour hurricane. Now it's coming back out right here. It still has that tight inner core, which means that as soon as it gets over these waters, it can start to strengthen and have plenty of time. You can see how tiny it is. Plenty of time. Remember, small hurricanes can spin up or down quick. This spun up this morning very fast. It spun down this afternoon very fast. It could spin up very fast tonight and tomorrow. There's another look at it again. You can see our system here to the north of it is helping give it a little jet here, and as this moves further to the west, that may be a little bit of a help with the outflow, especially on the eastern side, so we may have a lot of intensification problems. Again, there's the current location based on the recon fix, and again, as that northwest motion continues, it should move out and then generally back westward as it leaves the area there to the west of Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Now here's the model guidance, and again, they're all in agreement that it's going to turn west, take a hard left turn. The no gaps does have it getting caught up over Cuba, but most of the models keep it south of there and generally in the direction of the Gulf of Mexico. The UK Met's further north than it was, and the GFDL now is further north as well. You can see the HWRF model in 5 days doesn't have it quite as the Category 5 it did this morning, but still nearing Cat 4 intensity in the Gulf, 962 millibars as it strengthens, heads towards the Gulf Coast. That would not be good news at all. and the GFDL in 78 hours has it becoming a Category 5 south of Cuba, and then striking Cuba as a Category 4 or 5 in about 90 hours, and by 5-6 days bearing down on the central eastern Louisiana coastline is a very large and powerful Category 4 hurricane. 934 millibars is nothing to mess around with at all. You can see the Canadian initializes Gustav in the wrong position. Gustav is up here over Haiti, it has it down here, and thus in 5 days it shows it hitting the Yucatan, but don't put any stock into that until it gets the initialization right, and we'll see what the Canadian does when that happens. As far as the no gaps in 5-6 days, has it up here south of Florida. Again, that one takes it pretty far to the north and east of most of the other models. As far as intensification with wind shear, it doesn't have a problem. Wind shear is very favorable. It's going to have a good environment. Again, you can see the hurricane is now centered here, but it's going to have that good environment as it heads on off towards the west. As far as water temperatures, if there are any areas in the Atlantic where the water temperatures are the warmest, it's just south of Cuba and the Isle of Youth in this general region. That is where they are the warmest, and that is exactly where Hurricane Gustav will be heading as it moves into the Gulf of Mexico. So again, this thing could be a extremely dangerous major hurricane. In the final analysis, Hurricane Gustav sitting right there over Haiti, expected to fluctuate, maybe weaken to a tropical storm, but come right back out, head westward, generally towards western Cuba and the Gulf of Mexico. If you are in western Cuba, the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, continue to watch it in Haiti, the Yucatan, you're going to be impacted in the next 3 or 4 days. From there, the Gulf Coast, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and even northern Mexico should really be keeping an eye on this. But until it passes your longitude, you cannot say with any certainty that it will not impact you. As far as special coverage, once watches and warnings go up for the U.S., Gustav special coverage will begin on IPR365.com. Streaming audio coverage, preparedness information, the official information from the Hurricane Center on Gustav, as well as links to the virtual studio, podweather.com, these video update podcasts, as well as Stormcast by Michael Moss, links to official information, and of course the links to our live coverage. That'll do it for Hurricane Gustav. I'll have more later.